time and money, and those are the things that come with a job, and you have to sacrifice one for the other. And you have to find that balance.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot, what's up? It's Nick. It's ready for Pushback. It's solo. We're doing it. Today's the day. And this is an interesting one. I made a special effort actually tonight to jump on here and record this so I could save it because I thought this was a really interesting day that I had today. I got a long text message from a good buddy of mine, probably my best buddy who I've known for, 20 plus years. And he flies for Southwest. And he's been flying at Southwest for, I want to say 6 or 7, maybe 8 years now, maybe 7. And it was a really long text. So long that I was almost like TLDR. But I couldn't do that because he's a buddy. And basically what it said is that he had spent some time with another mutual friend who flies for Delta Airlines, who is a first officer on the 350. He has been there since about 2014. And he was shocked at the lifestyle that this guy leads. He flies a couple trips a month. His family can do, oftentimes they like non-rev out to wherever the overnight is. And he had this desire to grab onto that kind of lifestyle. And rightly so. It makes good sense, right? He has a handful of kids, just like I have a handful of kids. And, there are two important things in his life. He has a lot of things that are important, but, there's time and money, and those are the things that come with a job, and you have to sacrifice one for the other. And you have to find that balance. And he saw a guy who had a pretty sweet thing going on. Then he took a look at what his life was and what his occupational life was, and he saw himself going on 3 and 4 and 5 day trips and having, men rest overnights, 10 hours, 11-hour overnights, and that it was a drag, and he didn't like it. And so he called me because he wanted to talk about maybe switching over. What should he do? Is it a good idea to switch over? Is it not a good idea to switch over? And what would that look like? And we talked for, I want to say 40 minutes or so, maybe 30. And here's what we talked about. Number one, I said, this is not your decision. This is your wife's decision, because this is not about you. And I want you to make it not about you. I want you to make it about your wife and your family and what's best for them. Number two, your experience will not mimic your buddy's experience, who's the first officer on the 350. And here's why. If you're a new hire and you don't get the 350, you get a narrow body or whatever, you're locked in there for a couple of years. You are flying the exact same flying that you're currently doing at Southwest. And then once the opportunity presents itself to switch over to the 350, after a couple of years, you are still way at the bottom of the seniority list. So you're on reserve a lot. Your trips are lousy. They're not just like one flight out and 2 days in Rome and then a flight back. And you're not doing 2 of those a month. You're doing what the company needs you to do. And you're picking up the trips that are less desirable. And so the next compounding thing is the fact that this guy doesn't live in a base for Delta Airlines. He commutes. He commutes far. And he lives in Texas. The closest base would probably be Atlanta. Maybe, he could get up to Detroit or Minnie or something like that. But he lives far from it. And so if you're going to be on a wide body and commute and be on reserve, You're going to be gone a lot. And one of the awesome things that Southwest has is great flexibility in their scheduling. One of the best contracts in the industry as far as flexibility of scheduling. Not the best. Probably goes like Spirit or Frontier as far as flexibility goes. But still, I'll tell you, giving up the flexibility to schedule trips that are convenient, being able to go to the soccer game or the football game or be home for the birthday, there's a lot of value in that. And there's also a lot of value in flying a wide body and doing your thing. And, if that's really the thing you want to do, then go do it. But, your mileage may vary. And that's a tricky thing. And, I think he was looking for me to encourage him to jump. But really, you have to take a pragmatic look. If you are at a major airline and you want to switch to a different major airline, and it's not because you live in that base, and then I'm really interested in what that calculus is. Because if you are commuting and you're just making your commute harder, it seems like that's not something you would choose to do. And I want you to think about that too. Doesn't matter where you are on your aviation journey. You might be at a major thinking about going to another one. You might be at a regional or a ULCC, an ultra low cost carrier. Maybe you're doing an ACMI like cargo thing at Atlas or Kalitta or whatever. Maybe you're at FedEx and you don't like the new contract and you want to switch to Delta, United, American, Southwest, whoever. Maybe you're at Alaska and you want to be at some place that gets more press. Maybe you're at Hawaiian and you want to move to the mainland and not commute in. Who knows where you are? I want you to write a pro-con list. Literally write a list. Write it on paper. Don't type it, write it. And talk about it. And have your wife, your husband, your partner, your brother-in-law, your son or daughter, have them write a pro-con list of what's in their mind. Whoever's in your life. Your roommate, I don't know. Have that person write a list. You write a list. Take a picture of it. Email it to me. podcast@spitfireelite.com. We can talk about it. But really understand how much your time is worth. Put a value on your time. And then, he commutes, my buddy commutes to the Dallas to Love Field from a different part of Texas. Probably takes him, 30 minutes to get there, something like that. But if he chooses to commute at Delta to Detroit, what is that, 2 hours? Maybe 2.5, maybe 2. I don't know. I really don't know. But he's going to have to make that jump. So that's 2.5 hours. That's 5 hours each trip, or 4, or whatever it is. And then if he's got a late go, you're probably leaving in the evening, heading out to Europe, and then reverse that on the way back. What does your circadian rhythm look like? And how much are you messing with your readiness and your fatigue levels and all of those things? And how are you balancing that, especially when you have young children? If it's you solo and you're by yourself and you're not going to have kids, it's a different calculus than if you have a van full of children. It really is. I mean, like for me to go nap, it's like negotiating with a hostage negotiator. So know that and think about it. If you are a person who is in flight school and you want to fly 350s, or you want to fly the 787, or you want to fly a 747, or whatever the thing is you want to fly, or you want to fly the G6 or something cool, like you're a Jizzy kind of guy, think about what you're willing to give up to get there and what you're not. And evaluate that and continue to evaluate that, because that's going to change over your lifetime. And so I don't know what he's going to choose. I really don't know what he's going to choose. Like next year, he can upgrade to captain. And it's a pretty cool opportunity, pretty sweet deal. And so should he give it up to be a low seniority first officer living states away from out of base in the hopes that in maybe 10 years, he can hold the trips so that he can go with his family. So what is he going to miss and he's going to give up with that family that he currently has, that flexibility that he already has to go to church, to go to football, to go to dance, to go to whatever, a quinceañera, I don't know, whatever it is. And is that valuable enough? How old are you? Are you old like me in your 40s? Are you young in your 20s? That is a lot of calculus. So there's a lot to think about. And I want to tell you, like, people that do aviation career coaching, there's a few of them, and they charge a lot of money for it. And I'll tell you the truth. A lot of things, the answer is, it just depends. It depends on you. And really, it's an opportunity to lead you to open your aperture slightly. And that's what you're paying for. And maybe one day I'll get into that zone and do that and be a part of career coaching. But I just think that there are things in this aviation profession that you can't put a price tag on right now. And if you are able to work and get yourself where you want to go with your mentors, then you should reach back and do the same for others and help them be better. Inevitably makes you better. So I'll keep you posted on my buddy, what he decides to do. I'm really interested to see. This podcast will probably come out way after he's made that decision. So hopefully we'll be able to figure it out. And that's probably what I've got to say about that. I hope you are moving forward today. I want your inertia to be strong. I want you to be looking for a mentor if you haven't already found one. And I want you to get your pro-con list. If you have a decision to make, get your pro-con list and write that stuff down. You're awesome. You're doing the right thing. You're listening to this podcast for motivation. You're listening for somebody to tell you that you have made a wise choice, and you have made a wise choice. I'm thankful for you, and I'm glad you're in my life. Thank you for listening. I'll see you on the next show. Hey, before I let you go, I need to mention one thing, because a lot of people are asking me, can you do anything? Can you help me with this? And the answer is yes. At Spitfire Elite, we will make more millionaires this year than Major League Baseball will make in the next 5 years. Our company actually does this. It's called Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting. And you can find us over at SpitfireElite.com. Our clients, they call us the easy button for interview prep, because everything you need to crush your interview is there in one spot. Whether it's application review or interview prep, all of it is covered. We've helped thousands of clients who are now flying at their dream jobs because our coaches gave them the one-on-one feedback that they needed to succeed on the biggest day of their life. The best part of Spitfire is our community. All Spitfire clients will get access to our private chats where they can work with each other and they can work with our coaches and get the latest information on all the airlines. If you'd like to make sure that you are 100% ready to go on your big day, there is only one choice. Everything you need is in one place, and I think it's pretty affordable. You'll have to take a look for yourself. Just go over to SpitfireElite.com and check us out. Use the coupon code PODCAST and it'll save you 10%. And by the way, I will see you on the next episode. The statements made on this show are my own opinions and do not reflect, nor are they under any direction from my employer.